From all around the world, Christians flock to Israel, the Holy Land, where Jesus was born, lived, and died. And the focus of their pilgrimage is usually Jerusalem, for it was here that Jesus was tried, convicted, and executed for the crime of proclaiming himself the Messiah. The Via Dolorosa, the Street of Sorrows, is the narrow, crowded road along which he carried his cross to his crucifixion. Today, pilgrims follow in his footsteps, treading upon the very stones on which he walked, stopping at the very places where he stumbled or received help. The 14 stations of the cross, 9 of them in the Via Dolorosa. 2,000 years ago, this bustling street was a busy public thoroughfare, and that's still the case. Today it's lined with souvenir shops, capitalizing upon the tourist traffic. Plaques and chapels mark the stations of the cross, though they're not always easy to find. Here, for example, is the 4th station where he met his mother. At the 5th station, a handprint marks the place where Jesus leaned against the wall. At the 6th station, Veronica wiped his face with her veil. The final 5 stations are inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the site that the Byzantine Empress Helena, the mother of Emperor Constantine, proclaimed as Golgotha, the place of the skull, the tomb in which he was buried. Just inside the church doors and up a steep flight of stairs, you encounter these ornate altars which mark the place of the crucifixion. Here, Queen Helena believed that she found actual pieces of the original cross. After he was taken down from the cross, his body was placed on this stone and anointed. Then it was carried to the tomb, which is now marked by another elaborate chapel. But was Jesus really crucified and buried here? Not everyone agrees. Another contender for the distinction is the garden tomb.
We're reminded in the Bible in John 19:41 that near the place of crucifixion there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, which no man had ever yet lain. So as we're in the garden, which could have been a vineyard, we've now come right down to the tomb area, and the question is, could this possibly have been Joseph of Arimathea's tomb? And the first thing which we always acknowledge is that we actually have no archaeological evidence that the tomb ever belonged to Joseph. But there's some very fascinating things about it, and there's evidence that early Christians worshipped at this place.
This quiet and contemplative place seems to appeal to Protestant pilgrims more than the ornate opulence of the Holy Sepulchre. Here, groups of pilgrims of all nations and religions visit the tomb, and usually hold services in one of the worship areas and chapels scattered amongst the trees. When General Charles Gordon of Khartoum fame was on leave in Jerusalem in 1883, he glanced across an old quarry and noticed a formation like a skull in the far wall, Golgotha. Excavation revealed an ancient tomb marked with early Christian symbols. Another find was a massive wine press, so the site was certainly a garden or vineyard.
Everything the Bible says about Joseph's tomb can actually be found in this tomb. So we always say, now you can make up your own mind.
And so the mystery lingers. Was Jesus entombed in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, or is this garden the site of his tomb?
That doesn't bother me in the slightest, whether it is or whether it isn't. It's a very good visual aid, and it does help you to understand and to see what it would have been like. And I think it's very important that we point out that very fact that it doesn't really matter where it happened.
And here at the Garden Tomb, you can make up your mind, or simply enjoy quiet meditation amongst the flowers and the trees, in a place that seems wonderfully remote from the hustle and bustle of the city. For more information, visit our website on topoftheworld.net.